What is going on? I'm Zedmont, also known as Anon Moose on the internets. We're going to be doing something fun and silly today, but first, I want you to check the comments down below. Go click on that link, vote on the poll. Really, I'm trying to figure out the best place to put a face cam. Yesterday, some of you didn't like it down in the bottom left. Some of you want it to be somewhere else. Go vote, have your say. Please, I need your feedback. I don't really care where my face is. I prefer not to have a face cam. But you guys have said you want it, and the analytics say that you guys need it. I know for me it doesn't really make a lot of sense, and I've always been really hesitant, but the numbers don't lie. People want face cam, helps you connect, helps you feel more connected to the channel and things like that. So I'm going to do it from time to time, try and mix it in. I've got some new equipment coming, trying to up my levels of my audio because it's been frustrating me. Nonetheless, in this video, we're going to do some silly stuff. I'm going to try to take down bases using the stupidest possible attacks I can think of. If you have suggestions, requests, all of that sort of stuff, please do hit me up because I am all about it. Gonna try to keep some silliness, some fun. Can't just do all educational all the time because that really doesn't work. Things like closed eyes for flares, I'm gonna have a hard time with that kind of stuff. If you have specific troops that you want me to use that you think bases simply can't be beat with, I'm in. If you want things like no flares, no smoke, all of that sort of fun, or maybe even like 3 smoke that I can use strategically or something. Anyways, for this attack, I'm going to pause right here, and then we're going to come back and I'll show you the attack. That way, if I fail 50 times, you don't have to watch it. I'll be back in a sec with an attack, and then we'll get rocking and rolling. Okay, so for those of you who know this channel at all, I basically never, ever use Kevon, and he's loaded right now, and that should be a bit of a hint for you. What we're going to do is we're going to attack this base right here, and we're going to try to pull its pants down and just spank its bare bum. I think you're still allowed to do that. Anyways, the whole point of this attack is just complete and utter domination. Now, you could possibly look in your replay log and see that you were attacked by only Kevon, but the person might have just used critters. For this to get fully effective and to get full marks, in my mind, you have to use actual pink zombie crew, and you have to take their base down without, I mean, you can use some critters, but you can't just like barrage their rocket launchers and then just send some critters on their base. That doesn't count in my mind. We are going to get rid of this shock launcher over here. This person does have 4 ice, so this base is not super duper easy, but we should be able to get a couple more pink zombie crew members back here. We're going to get them all the way to the back, otherwise those rocket launchers are going to melt their faces off. We're going to farm a little bit of GBE, and then we're just going to go hit the core. Like, this is not a recommended attack at all, and I'm going to say that about this entire video is going to be attacks that you should basically never do unless you're trying to have fun and be silly and ridiculous. And for me, a large part of Boom Beach is about making the game fun. It's a little bit of a strange thing where you have to make the game fun as opposed to just doing the day-to-day chores, and I really would like it if Boom Beach was to implement more events, because I feel like there's more of this stuff of me doing silly things and other players doing silly things than would probably be warranted if the game were to be a little bit more dynamic. But nonetheless, we are on the verge of taking this base down using nothing but Kevon and the pink zombie crew. Is it gonna go? Look at that. Boom, shaka laka. Wish I had the face cam on right now, almost, because my smile for these sorts of things is off the charts. Huge, full face, love it, love it. Using nothing but Kevon and the pink zombie crew to take down a 4 ice base is pretty awesome in my opinion. Anyways, I'm going to load something different, and I will be back in just a moment with something else up my sleeves. Okay, so you guys have probably done this attack yourself. If you haven't, I highly recommend it, and that is throwing Bullet and all his damage out front, and then dropping 1 boat of bombardiers or grenadiers or Zookas in behind him. I like to use bombardiers because they have a little bit more accuracy. With grenadiers, you're just sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting for them to hit something, and more often than not, they just won't hit anything, and it's incredibly, incredibly frustrating. So get bullet out front, get some bombardiers in behind, and then just head back, back, back for a long, long walk on the beach. By the way, Valentine's Day today, not a bad idea. Personally, I'm not much of a Valentine's Day kind of guy. I know that sounds like a cop-out to a lot of people, but I just find that Valentine's Day, I'd rather just be, I don't know, I like to do the everyday sort of thing, or try to do the everyday sort of thing, but nonetheless, we're going to get bullet here. We've got taunt sitting out front, and now just hitting the core, and bombardiers sitting in behind, taking absolutely zero damage, hanging out back there. Nice, easy finish. This is where bullet was nerfed, because with energy drink, he could sit back there forever and ever. Bringing bombardiers just means that you're going to get a whole bunch more damage, doesn't cost a heck of a lot of GBE, and down goes a fairly easy base. Granted, they've got all offensive statues, but nonetheless, nice, simple, easy, silly, ridiculous attack that is repeatable, that you can do over and over again to take bases down. So there's attack number 2. Gonna do 1, maybe 2 more. I'll be back in just 1 moment, and then we'll do something slightly different. I should mention that these attacks are fun for me, and they're also fun for a task force. So if you're wondering why the heck I do this sort of stuff, I find that this sort of details shared in your attack log is a great way to build camaraderie in your task force. And yes, it's fun to win, 100%, agreed, 100%, but it's also fun to do silly, ridiculous things and laugh at things together. So I find that just try not to take yourself too seriously. Get your task force laughing, share some ridiculous attacks, and the more chatter and the more fun things you have happening in your task force chat, I find it just makes a task force better, and it can help you attract people and all of those sorts of things, because really there's nothing that kills a task force more than when someone joins your task force and they don't say hi and no one says hi to them, and it's just not super exciting for anyone, really. So sharing attacks is a great way to help make your task force stronger and better and all sorts of stuff like that. Now, these attacks, I did not intend to use smokes for all these attacks, but it just happens that that's what's going to happen. And now, I also didn't intend to pick on someone who had all offensive statues. All offensive statues, you're going to lose regardless, so I get a little bit more enjoyment when I end up doing silly, ridiculous attacks against people who have things like this boosted ice. That boosted ice back there is doing absolutely nothing for this base. We just took it down with 2 Scorchers, and it went kerblowy. No Grabblers, thankfully. Had to say Grabblers 1 more time just to make it 3 videos in a row. I'm going to brainstorm here, see if I can think of 1 more silly attack that we can do, and then we'll come back, and I'll be back in just a moment. This is starting to get a little bit expensive on the diamonds, so we're not going to be doing this attack terribly often as far as loading troops goes, but this one is called the kitchen sink, the Noah's Ark. Now, Noah's Ark has changed a little bit because obviously Bombardiers came out, Cryoneers came out, and there are more troops than there are slots. So there's going to be no riflemen and no medics on this one. I think that's all of them. If you guys happen to have a silly, ridiculous attack for me to share, please do comment in the comments. I guess comment on YouTube or on Twitter. I'd love to share your attacks, love to share your ideas. Obviously, I'm not the only one that has these ridiculous attacks. If you have done something silly, fun, ridiculous, neat, I still remember the first time someone showed how to sit all the troops on top of a hot pot. I definitely miss when we had wanks for that like 2-hour period. If you were not party to that, there was a period where where warriors had the stats of tanks, and it was absolutely ridiculous and fun, and it was right in the middle of one of my live streams. I'll try and find it if possible, but it was just so ridiculously fun. But the problem was your warriors all not only had the stats of tanks, they all costed the same amount as tanks. So imagine loading 8 boats of tanks and then losing them all. And I believe it was the first day that Kavan had came out as well. So I was using Kavan with warriors, and they were just crushing everything. And it was absolutely mind-blowing. Couldn't figure out what was going on. And then finally realized, hey, this is not okay. Something is completely broken here. And as a result, we ended up having people like solo Chimera using warriors. It was absolutely silly and absolutely awesome. And I kind of wish they would have like a tribe that would do that again or something, because it was so awesome. Nonetheless, we're going to keep going, hopefully taking this base down, because I just spent like 400,000 diamonds to get these troops loaded, and we should be able to take it down as long as we're a little bit careful at this point. Gonna pull our troops out and then park them far away. We're going to lose a lot of troops on this, but doesn't really matter because this should go down. I think we've made a nice little blind spot. This person has 3 ice statues. They had a shock blaster and a doom cannon. I think maybe not, because I only see 1 prototype spot there. But this base is going down. We are yelling timber, getting some Kesha on for the weekend. Hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. Hope you enjoyed these silly, ridiculous attacks. Trying to, like I said, mix it up so it's not just educational. Trying to keep things fun, interesting, and neat. Did you see that screen? That was so ridiculously wide, all of the different troops. Again, don't forget to vote on my community post as to where I should put my Facecam, and I shall talk to you soon. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy long weekend. It's a family day long weekend up here in Canada. I think it's something else down in the States. Hopefully where you guys are, you get Monday off. I'm going to talk to you later. As always, thanks for coming in. I'm Zedmont. Peace.